because they've gone to maybe an event like ours will brainwash them, oh, you can do well, but when they come out of it, they have no clue, right? They suddenly feel very lost. But you as real estate agents, if you know how to be able to help them move forward, meaning every year you can get 2 or 3 transactions out of one person. So it's not just, you can't just look at it, oh my God, it's one commission. If that same person can do a buy, sale, right? Even 2 transactions, you get 4 transactions out of it, right? And that's how we have to look at it. And for every 10 investors you'll meet 2 great people, right? And that's like anything else. 20% are going to do 80% of the business, right? The question is, who are those 2 people, right? That. Number 2 is that who's the best client for you? It's your own kids. Meaning we should not only be helping people that can give us volume of transactions, especially the price point in general you guys are in. This is south suburbs of Chicago is a workforce neighborhood. You guys happen to be in the middle of it. If you look at 75% of transactions that happen for rentals, for flips, all of them happen within a 10-mile radius of where you guys are located, right? All of them across the board. And that market is something that you guys should be capturing, right? If we do like one of the 3 days, whatever, come out, meet a lot of people, give out your business cards to every single person, right? And what you do is then pick and choose who you work with, because otherwise they're going to suck up a lot of your time. And the biggest issue becomes is that are they pre-qualified? What is their source of funds? How are they going to pay for properties? But I just want to use one example because I think this point, we were just talking about this, that this is not only something you can do for yourself, but this is something you can help your client build just with a simple house hacking strategy, because I think this will bring all of it together as to what is possible. And why this is powerful is because this is something, these are programs that are available out there today. So this is a house hack strategy you can help your client do, or you can do it for yourself, right? So the guy who bought this happens to be somebody from Mastery, John, and he's a TSA agent. Why I say that is because as a TSA agent, do you really think he makes that kind of money? He doesn't, right? Limited amount of income. One thing he had done correctly was that his credit score was somewhere around 690 or so at the time. Not like a great credit score, but not a bad one either, right? So this is a property, and his point was, he's like, man, I want to buy a house. I've never bought a house. And I don't know what to do because I don't know if I'm going to pre-qualify, right? I'm like, well, where do you live? Well, he used to work at O'Hare. And so I'm like, well, the best thing for you, because you have a limited amount of income, is just do a house hack. Right? I don't know if I can afford it. Well, if you can't afford it, best way of doing it is find a property that you're going to be able to put some work in, right? A lot of your Hispanic clients, a lot of people like that, they're not afraid of work, right? They're not afraid of work at all. But unfortunately, they may not be the most sophisticated clients. But once you tell them a strategy or teach them a part of the strategy, they can execute, and they can execute at a very, very high level, right? And watch the numbers on this one. So this is a property, first property that he bought in kind of the park, just a little bit north of Elmwood Park. 175 at the time was purchase price, right? It's bought with a 3.5% down program. Rehab was 78,000. So he couldn't do the rehab, but he hired guys to do the rehab. Typical, 3-year building. 3.5% down, so he needed 8.5 or so. Then the closing costs, he needed another 7,200, right? He didn't have the 15,000 that he needed. So we did a very simple strategy on that, which is we did a seller contribution of 5%, basically. Seller contribution was 12,000. So at the closing to buy this property, he came up with $5,555. That's it, right? That's it. And he used the 78,000 to be able to fix up the property, and total cost on that was $264. If you guys want this slide, right, to show this example to your clients, we'll send it to Alex. Obviously, he's from Nashville, we'll send it. Use this as an example because this becomes, hey guys, look what's possible, right? Because a lot of times you gotta be able to paint a picture and show somebody a dream. Now they genuinely get excited. They're like, oh my God, this is possible. And not exact thing, but a form of this can be done with a 2 flat. It can be done with a 4 flat, right? Anybody that has a VA this can be done with 0 down. So now, watch what he does. Goes out, gets it appraised. At the time, it appraised for 350. So his all-in cost in this is 264. Back-end appraisal is almost 100,000 higher. Is that good? Is that good? Right? That's a great thing. That you just now, if you're the guy who's helping or the gal making that happen, you're a hero, right? Now with these type of people, you just got to stay on their calendars, do good follow-up as agents, that you don't go help somebody and then you forget about them. Because these are people that will come back over and over and over. And just to give you an idea, around Chicagoland, any price range below about 350, 400, 22% of all properties that are being bought are investors, which is repeat transactions. In the south suburbs, which is, I consider south suburbs, is 55 and south. For us, it's south, right? In this area, it's 36% of all properties that are trading hands today. It's all investors. Why? Because the value is in your neighborhoods, right? The value is in these neighborhoods because these are bread and butter neighborhoods where you can actually buy something, actually make a cash flow, you can actually flip properties. But yet that conversation is not happening as much, right? So 350 back end value, goes out, refinances it, no PMI, PMI is gone, right? At 280, does a cash out for an extra $15,000. Takes $15,000, puts it back in his pocket. What is he going to go do with it?
Buy another property.
Repeat the process again, right? And if you look at it, long and short of it, is with one house, one 3-unit building, it's $2,400 in cash flow. Imagine, forget about $2,400, man. Imagine you being able to place a client in a property where their normal rent would be $1,500. You can get them to live there and to be able to rent out a place, and their payment is $500, $600 because the rest is being covered by the other tenant. What is that offset worth? Right? I mean, you look like a bloody hero. And what have you done? You've given them the idea and walked them through the process. And you can lock them in for life. As clients, all you have to do is just stay on them and keep reminding them that you were the person who helped them with it. Now, watch what he does. So this guy was kind of strategic. He said, man, what do I do now? I'm like, well, you're not going to get another FHA loan, right? So what you have to do is get a transfer from O'Hare down to Midway. He said, why would I do that? Well, there's this thing that they'll let you live closer to work. You guys get that?
Yep.
Right? And if you get transferred, then you can get a second FHA loan. You get it, right? He's like, you're serious? I'm like, I'm serious, a heart attack. I'm like, are you lying? He said, man, I don't want to make up. I'm like, if you move, if they move you from here to Florida, is that an honest transfer? Yeah. Sure. I'm like, so he goes, requests it, they immediately gave it to him, right? And he moves to, he starts working Midway. But now, you go to Berwyn. Why Berwyn? Why Cicero? Why Stickney? Because there's more properties there relative to, meaning at prices that will make sense, right? There are more properties there. Again, bread and butter housing, so you have more options. And all these properties are being bought as short sales, right? They're all bought as short sales, off market. So he's just going and door knocking, only 2 to 4 flats. And hey, do you want to sell? Do you want to sell? Do you want to sell? And I can buy it from you, kind of thing. And the second property he buys is this one, right? This is on Harvey in Berwyn. Same exact strategy, about $8 or $90 in cash flow. So he waits about 6, 7 months, 8 months, builds up a little bit of cash flow. Right now, that's his reserves, right? In case something breaks, something happens, he's fixed up the property brand new, the first one. Then again repeats the process on another one. Then, so the first 3. So the fourth one, he hit, I mean, this is like a out of the ballpark, right? This is a 4-unit building. Now, mind you, we did it twice. Once he went to Midway, and then next year he got a raise, and they're like, hey, we would love to have you go back to O'Hare. And he said, man, I don't want the raise. He said, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a TSA job. It's not like they're giving him $30,000 raise, right? The raise is fairly incremental, but they're like, hey, we want you to take a senior position. His point was, no, I want to buy one else. But dude, don't be foolish. Take the job, take the responsibility. You're a very sincere guy. He said, why? I'm like, we can probably repeat this process 3 times. After 3 times, we're not going to be able to justify this, right? Because we always want to operate within RESPA rules. You never want to, you have a real estate license. You got to protect it, right? But are there strategies which you can honestly do and move ahead? Absolutely, right? And you should use it without any shame. And this is something you can do for you. You don't have to just be able to help somebody else. 4th property was a 4-unit building. 5th property was this one. And he moved into this one for about 5.5 years. He quit buying anything. He said, man, I'm too stressed now because I got all this debt. I'm like, dude, do you realize where you are?
Debt.
Look at his numbers on the first 5 properties. Every single month, net cash flow on top of a job. And this is where I made this mistake. I was an agent with RE/MAX since the age of 19 to 32. In 2008, when I started investing, I quit selling real estate too quick. And I started doing flips. And at the time, I didn't know, right? It was easier to sell real estate and make a couple $100,000, even in 2008, 9, and 10, than to do flips. I should have done less flips, done more sales, and help a lot of clients buy a lot of those properties. Because I knew how to identify them. You guys get my point? I got caught up with the stupidity. Oh, who's going to work for 2.5%, 3%, 4%? I'm going to own the other 95%. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense, right? What's the whole point of it? Create income, whether you do it as a real estate agent or you have 0 risk, right? It's just a matter of putting kind of your nose to the grind a little bit. But on the side, I should have started buying rentals quicker, right? So instead of, a lot of times people get fascinated, I'm going to do flips. To make $45,000, $50,000, if you've never done this before, right? And start flipping, man, you can sell more houses in the same time, right? You can make a hell of a lot more money if you truly get good at it. And the great part about that is, if you become good at understanding investing, the best deals, you're the best buyer for those deals. But there's a lot of other deals that people will buy all day long, especially in the Hispanic community. I mean, we see this today. A lot of times we will prejudge people, right? Where you'll have somebody, oh, what do you do? Well, I got a lawn mowing service. And we have 5, 6, 7 of those people, right? We had people in Mastery have a lawn mowing service, like, you have any properties? Yeah, how many? 20. You have 20 properties? So yeah. Any debt? No debt. You have any cash? Oh yeah, 2 million. There's a lot, and this is, I mean, I didn't know this, that there's a lot of Hispanic people that quote unquote do not look rich, but they have a lot of money. And the ones that have the most amount of money drive the most basic trucks. The ones that have no money, they're the ones who drive all the BS stuff, right? And the Hispanic community is not what it was 20 years ago. Today, they have money now. The only difference is, still in the Hispanic community, a lot of times they get taken advantage of. They get taken advantage of people within the community. That's the sad part, right? And so the trust is a big thing. That do they truly trust you? But if once you earn that, right, they're generally very loyal people to work with, which you guys probably already know that, right? Because they have this hunger within the community and they don't know who to turn to, right? So watch what he does. But 5 years later, a year and a half ago, he comes back. He said, man, I'm paying too much taxes now because I got another raise and I have too much income. He took 2 properties. Every month, he would take $9,200 and attack property number 1. Meaning, pay down the mortgage, pay down the mortgage, pay. So 2 of his properties are almost completely paid off, right? Completely paid off. And he's been smart that he hasn't gone and done something stupid with it. So then he's like, Andrew, man, I'm going to pay a lot of taxes, so what do I do? I'm like, where do you want to live? He's like, well, my dream house would be in Logan Square. I'm like, you're going to go to Logan Square, buy a house? And I'm like, that would be, he said, no, I want to buy a 2 or 3 unit. So, I mean, today, with 9,000 income here plus your job, you'll qualify pretty much for anything, right? Anything you'll qualify for. So then, he said, how do I find a property there? I'm like, did you find the other 5 properties? He's like, 1 was MLS, 4 of them were all properties that were short sale properties. right? Meaning pre-foreclosure properties. I just knocked on the door and I kept following up. Flat one, right? I'm like, why not in Logan Square? So he goes to the pre-foreclosure list, pulls up the properties, right? Today, we were just talking about this. If you look at the number of pre-foreclosures that are here, that should be listings you should be targeting. Because everything, now if they have a ton of equity, meaning they have the property, they owe 30, 40, 50,000 on, 60,000 on. And you'll find properties that are pre-foreclosure that are worth 300 on the back end, all fixed up. But those properties, you guys should be buying for you. But most of the properties, about 80%, are going to be short sales, are going to be right at the kind of, where you're going to have to get a little bit of a short trade. On those, they can be great listings for you. Because you get them under contract, you get them commission. Nowadays you can't talk about it, so I'm going to stay out that one. You guys figure that out. But you can make a lot of money because then you turn over the file to the attorney. They do all the work, right? And the best part about that is you're helping people for it not to go to foreclosure, and they do not get a foreclosure on their records. Right? So they're not going to get a lien against them for any amount of money owed or anything because the attorney is going to help them clear those out. And there's a ton of those, right? In the south suburbs, those you should be targeting. Same thing with probates, right? Probate properties are ones that most agents do not look at. That should be something you guys should look at. So what he does is buys this property. Now watch the numbers on this. So this is after rehab, right? This is just a beautiful, beautiful property. And when you look at the numbers on this one, what the deal with this? I don't have to do numbers. Oh, there we go. Okay, so 722, I think I messed up, but 722 purchase and $210 rehab, 792 cost, 1.5 million appraisal. Refinance is $1 million.
I want to hear it again. Damn.
Sorry, million. And extra 168.
Bro,
So
masterclass right here, bro. Y'all
right?
better be taking
And
notes.
this is refinanced money. And his point was, Andrew, why would I want to refinance this much extra out? As we always try to tell people, don't
Another
take extra
one.
money because you're going to go do something stupid with it. I'm like, listen, man, if you don't take out extra money, your income is going to be too high. You're going to pay too much taxes, right? I'm like, take that money, go buy another house, go do whatever you want to do or pay down some other stuff. But because his income is too high, if he pays interest with it, it's a write-off. But if he keeps it, right, it goes against him on taxes. You guys getting that? Thought
Income.
process, right? And so that's kind of what he has done with it. And then he repeated the same exact process. I wonder if I have the cash flow here somewhere. Do I have it? Oh, there we go. PITI. My slides got messed up. And I think this cash flow here is pretty good. There we go, rent, and this should be the cash flow somewhere. Cost, oh, so he's living in the property, right? And so he's living in the property, and to live in Logan Square, right? You know, you guys know where that boulevard is, right? To live there with that property costs him $1,200 in Logan Square. What do you think the rent would be for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath in Logan Square? $3,500 or so. He's right, and then he goes and repeats the same exact process on another property, right? This is something millions of appraisal. The point of it is, it's a basic strategy that we all know about. And it's not like what you know, it's what you do with it, right? And this is something that, imagine if you could show this to your clients, that, hey guys, what's possible? And if they do one little pretty little property, who cares? But then that's something that if the payment is $2,500, $2,600, and the rent is $1,500, $1,600 from the other tenant, they're paying $800, $900 to live. And that is something you as an agent have a unique power, because if you understand a little bit, that's this much more than what most other people understand, right? And then you become the source of the information. For a lot of investors, the challenge is they have a desire to do something, but they don't know what to do, right? They have no clue what to do. But if you know how to be able to pick properties, and we will send you guys like a sheet on this, where you can just show that sheet to your client. Hey, your ARV on a property, let's say, is $300,000, right? You generally, for a flip, you're gonna pay 70% of the ARV. So that's gonna be $210 minus rehab. Does that make sense? So if the property is listed, so let's say the rehab is $40,000, $45,000, and especially when you have clients that can do their own work. If they can do their own work, and if it takes them 6, 7, 8 months, it's okay, right? I mean, it takes them a little bit longer, it takes them a little bit longer. But you can write a contract on a property that's listed for, say, 200. In today's market, write it for 160. Who cares? What are they gonna say? No, right? But today, as the market has slowed down, more and more price structures are happening, more and more deals are popping. And if you have a group of people you work with now, every time you send them the property with the numbers, right, now you have something to talk about, right? And I'll have kind of Fanny and Jesse go over some of these numbers. How does it work? What are the loans? Because a lot of times people think, oh, it's I-10, it's an issue for investing. It's not. Oh, it's a commercial property, it's a property that's in bad shape. Well, how are they, do they need all cash? They don't. So I'll kind of have them talk a little bit about that.
Jesse in the house. Fan. Cool.